Hello, Jacek.
Yeah, so we got Jacek, the main character in the series, although Sam is actually one of the main characters too, believe it or not. But Jacek is the main character in the current story that was released. So he's listed as Hungarian and self-developed. He's like a sword for
Hmm.
hire in the story. I don't know if you've played it, but
Just
he's
a little bit. I mean, it makes sense with him holding a Bathory style saber too.
yeah, exactly. He was also mocapped by Anthony. That's the Anthony, the guy who's like at the top of the HEMA leaderboard in real
Hmm.
life. So this
Yeah, I
guy,
want to fence him sometime, but I got to get
yeah,
across the pond to get that done.
right. So this guy was mocapped by like the real deal, not just Kubold. Like Kubold mocapped most of these guys, right? Even
Hmm.
Alex, he was inspired by Demon Stiff, but it was still
Right.
Kubold ultimately doing the mocap. This guy's different though. He was actually mocapped by a superstar of a fencer, which I think fits his character too. He's supposed to be like the first sword of the Commonwealth or something, so he's like borderline legendary swordsman.
Well, let's see how that main character energy works out.
Yeah. And again, this is a character I don't play terribly often, but essentially a lot of his movements are really
Oh,
quick. He
wow.
does a
Yep,
lot of,
yep, yep, yep. You can already see notable differences.
yeah. And so his guard is really good. Big surprise. The guy who mocapped him is good, but that's also by design. Like he's supposed to be a quick character who guards really
Hmm.
well. Not all of his blows hit the hardest, but if you aim them well, in a game like this, it doesn't much matter. You're still going to get the job done.
Yep. He's got a very classic refused third.
And he has a lot of these moves too where he sort of voids back a little bit and
Hmm.
then comes back in, which is nice. And he's got these upcuts. You can really abuse these sidesteps sometimes. You just quickly sidestep and just go ham. Um, Yazuk isn't the fastest as far as movement speed at first. He feels a little sluggish, but then he picks up speed. You'll see he actually gets faster as you move him, which is an interesting detail. And so,
So he's going to reward somebody who's really wanting to commit to big phrases of action.
yeah. Yes, and he's got left foot forward stances too, which is fun. We'll cover left foot forward in a bit. He's got a flesh as well.
Yeah, yep, yep, yep.
Now, Barabash, of course, is just standing still, so he does block it. But if, say, Barabash whiffed something and I just went forward with that move, it's
That big
pretty
lunge
good.
is going to hit things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's not a flesh. That's just a good quality lunge. And
I
what you
see.
usually see when people lunge in the kind of video game setups is you don't see a good portrayal of just how much reach an explosive lunge gives you.
Hmm.
And this is clearly demonstrating that.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can cancel some of these moves too. Like I did the snap cut, and you saw after the snap
Hmm.
cut, he does like another big step forward. But you can cancel that and do something else as well if you want, which is nice. He's very flexible as well.
Yep.
And he can
He
just do
commits
the
that
snap cut
body
too.
weight forward and just goes,
Yeah.
which is nice.
And just like the other snap cuts, if Barabash is exposing himself, like you can just give him a little love tap on the hand, and that'll do a lot of damage to the hand. Because in this game, the hands are, especially the sword hand, is a very vulnerable target. You do not want to
Hmm.
be hit there at all if you can avoid it. And I know from experience as well, I've done some sparring, and I've been surprised how hard a little tippy tap, as people call it, snap cut, can actually hit, and how much that can hurt your
Uh,
fingers.
yeah, I've been shooting my mouth off on this one for 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, they're not baseball bats. It takes very little effort to put an appalling level of force on your partner.
yeah, yeah, 100%. If you have the wrong gloves or you're hitting the wrong place, whatever it is, it can really, really hurt.
Oh, I had a fencer this morning get their hand basically turned off. I
Yeah,
had to use some of my body work knowledge to get the fencer to where the hand wasn't just sitting there doing a tremolo movement because the nerves had been whacked so hard. And that was
jeez.
directly through protective gear.
Yeah, and that's not a sharp sword. Like,
Oh,
there's a
yeah,
sharp
not even
sword, it'd be even
slightly.
worse. Yeah. All
I
right,
have
what
been cut with
else?
sharps in a chores context. It's a very different affair.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yes.
nice.
So he's got moves where he switches legs too. Oh
Hmm.
yes, the thing about left foot forward stance as well. This is actually true for Tarna as well. His guard is a little bit diminished, and that's just because of how he's standing. But it
Right.
offers you more options that you don't have when your right foot's forward.
Yep, like the hand attack you almost put there.
Yeah,
Okay, so Barabash is protecting that while he's hanging out in second. But
yeah,
if you can draw him out of that, you've got a really good hand attack to go with.
right.
Or, lunge and go deeper because he's been mo-capped with the proper lunge distance.
Yeah. That is the cool thing about this guy in particular. He has a lot of those lunging moves that come in really quick that other characters don't have. And it's because there's
Yeah,
a actual fencer doing it. Like Kubel doing
so,
this, and this is Kubel's own admission. I'm not saying this to diss on him, but if he did some of these moves, they'd probably look a little more clumsy, right? By his own admission.
well, do you to have a top athlete versus somebody who's not a top athlete?
Right.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a slouch lunging, but I'm not going to look as good as he does either. Now, here's an
Yeah.
interesting thing too. People tend to hang out at tips almost touching range. But
Hmm.
for somebody who actually has an appropriate lunge, somebody should be bleeding once you get that close.
Yeah.
So right there, Jacek should already be going.
Yeah.
And a good guy who plays him consistently, if he leverages that lunge range, then all you have to do is get them committed in one direction, snap, close the door, and hit them
Yep.
from a range where a lot of the people consider themselves to be safe. Yeah, look at how much ground that's covering.
Yeah. And this is
So if
really nice.
Barabash
Yeah.
whiffs, you can just drive a truck into that.
Yeah. And that's one of the combos that I dread facing when I'm fighting a Yazek player.
Hmm.
Oak is famous, Oakenlix, he's famous on our server for using Yazek, and that's like his favorite combo. The snap cut right to the dome.
Yep.
And if you, especially in an exchange, like this is nasty because you often can't react to the snap cut in time. So it's
Mm-mm.
absolutely a powerful move.
Yeah, direct cut is the single most dangerous action in fencing. You just
Hmm.
don't see it as much because it takes a lot of effort to get trained well.
Right.
So if you have somebody mentally who's prepped for the direct cut game and they apply it here and figure out what the distance is on it, that's going to irritate a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. That's sometimes a criticism people have of Yazek and Samuel, is they're sometimes seen as a little bit too safe because they've got these really fast moves that are hard to punish, and they've
Hmm.
got the really good guard. But I will say they don't hit as hard as Tarnovsky, so they are balanced in that sense, right? They have other weaknesses that Tarna doesn't have.
Right. I like that extended third that you had him in there too, as well as that long one. Is
Hmm.
that how the game is working his long guard?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really nice.
yeah. And I like how he uses the curve of the saber to get around. Some characters have moves like this where
Hmm.
if you just stand there and auto guard, and you can see if he hits at the tip, it's a kill, but the false edge can still cut you, even if
Oh
he's
yeah.
not hitting directly. And he's got this cut as well, which can trick people because you think, oh, he's going to stab, but he's actually gonna do something like this instead. Great against rapiers, actually, if you parry with long guard first in this game and then come down like that onto their head. Okay, what else does he have from long guard? I don't play this guy very much either, so I'm also learning some stuff. Nice. So he just has the standard thrust as well. Like Laszlo has this
Bop.
move, Samuel has it too.
Yeah, notice he's bypassing the guard for it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So he can cut as well and switch legs from there as
Mm-hmm.
well. And then he's got this one as well. Samuel has this move as well, actually. Some of the characters have repeat moves. There's only so many ways you can use a saber. But I think Kupol did a great job because a lot of people are like, man, there's so many sabers in this game. It is the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, though, so that makes sense. But I think he still did
Also,
a great
there's
job. Go ahead.
also there's significantly greater diversity of saber styles than there is when you see, for example, longsword or rapier.
Yeah.
And that may be controversial with some of the people listening, but I can walk that dog manual by manual by manual.
Hmm.
So, how you set up to use your body really does give you access to some movements and diminishes your access to others. And that gives you the flexibility to build out to where saber players wind up looking quite a bit different, even if there's not a huge difference in the hardware they're slinging.
Right. Yeah, like just compare Alexander to this guy or to Barabash.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're all so different. Gideon's different too.
Hmm.
It's yeah, so a lot of power cuts from this position. That's kind of the cool thing as well, is you can if you want to play from right foot forward, you're sort of playing the snipey sort of fast game, right? But if you
Right.
go from
Then you
left foot
change
forward,
up
you
and
got
now it's
this.
power shots.
Yeah,
That's a nice thrust too.
yeah,
Got to get your distance. There it is.
yeah, right through the heart.
Right. So when he went to guard that, he basically handed you a thrust in opposition.
Yeah,
So if you get your distance right, that's really nasty.
yeah. And this is tricky as well, because you can go high
Hmm.
like I did, or you can go to the leg.
Or right into the thigh.
Yeah. We'll discuss shield characters in a bit, but moves like this are very, very nice against shields.
Oh yeah,
Very
big
nice
time.
to have. Yeah. And so that's one of his favored moves in that type of a matchup. I like this one too. A little awkward with the timing, but you get that right. You can trick an opponent into overextending and quickly get a hit. Turkish cut, what's that?
That should be a rising three. There it is. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so the manuals from a lot of the ones I study will refer to cut three as Turkish Quart. And that's
Hmm.
literally what the game's named after.
I see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
Hellish
Hellish
Turkish
Quart.
Quart, the Hellish Polish Quart. It's that cut.
Nice. So that's pretty neat as well.
Hmm?
Takes a little step and then a snap cut after that initial Y cut. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it gives
this,
you good mid-range defense.
right. And a lot of characters, they have snap cuts, but they don't have like combos that contain a snap cut, right? But
Right.
Jacek is
And
very
much as I
different.
like and much as I like our favorite Hutzel, I would not want to come jumping in with a snap kick against this character.
Yeah, yeah,
That would not be a good time for me.
not at all. Uh, Hidden thrust. Oh, this one, yes.
There you
So
go. Yep. Look at the
love that.
reach. Get him one pace closer before you throw that.
Hmm.
Okay, so that guard was enough to lock it out.
Yeah.
Get that against somebody whose guard is less secure or who's
Hmm.
in the middle of trying to prosecute their own combo.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's reaching across 2/3 of the screen with that very extended lunge.
Yeah. And Kubold released an update where upcuts actually will beat thrust now. So if a rapier
Hmm.
blade gets beaten, that can also be a pretty nasty idea. Because rapiers do
Oh,
not
good. I'm
like
glad
being
he
blade
made that
beat.
change. Lots of
Yeah.
folks sort of poo-poo rising cuts, not realizing why they exist.
Yeah. It's funny though because it happens in this community too. They're like, "Why would I ever upcut? I'm exposing my head type of thing, right? But then as they get better at the game, they realize the value that these sorts of cuts can have. Beyond just beating the blade. It goes far beyond that. But
Very much so. Yeah, the other guy has the vote, and if they win the footwork game and elect to give, you're not going to win a foot race for who's fastest on the high line. That just gives you a double.
yeah.
But if you begin to pass backwards or make a step while making a rising cut, they're wrong spaced, and you'll come into the space they just vacated,
hmm
and the rising cut does you really well.
And I like this as well. Like left foot forward, he has these moves where he just gets away from the opponent really quickly, but these cuts also hit
Hmm.
like a truck if they hit the right
Right.
location.
So, yeah, he looks really vulnerable, and if you step forward to try to throw something, bang.
Yeah.
I've got a student right now who's over relying on that. It's
hmm
so freaking effective that it's become his spam this technique, one fits all solution, and I'm trying to beat him until he stops doing it.
I see. Yeah, and he can also run forward and perform a
Hmm.
cut like so from that stance. So that's the cool thing as well, is he actually looks like he slows down in this stance, and to some extent that's true. But in bursts of speed, he can just catch you before you realize it.
So, have you done any modern fencing training?
So I've done a little bit of HEMA. Specifically, I mostly did German longsword, and I have a staff background as well from my days as a teenager, and I did a little bit of Taekwondo.
Okay,
So,
so here's something really important that a lot of folks don't realize. What he's mocapped here, this is your tell that you've got a real fencer because these little advances and retreats, they're not meant to be exceptionally quick.
mhm,
Your classic advance and retreat is a distance adjusting step, not a walking step.
right.
So your passing steps, that covers big ground. Your gathering steps, that covers big ground. But those little advances and retreats, that's for micro adjustment of distance so that you're always a couple centimeters closer or further away than they want you to be. So the
Mm,
fact that he looks really slow making that adjustment is actually a really good sign
I see.
because you could use that to encroach distance on somebody who's trying to prosecute without them noticing. And that is a huge chunk of what modern fencing footwork is about.
I see.
You won't see it on the Olympic level because everybody's so high level that they're doing that, comma, explosively,
hmm
which you basically have to be both a high level fencer and a genetic freak to pull off without crippling yourself. But for those of us who are mere mortals, those teeny tiny distance adjustments before you go dictate whether you absolutely pwn the guy or your
hmm
defense winds up falling short and you get wrecked on the counter.
I see. Yeah, I'm not, especially the modern Olympic fencing and stuff like that, I'm not super familiar, but that is fascinating.
One of the things that makes saber fun is that it's literally the outgrowth of the evolution of all these styles over time.
Right.
At some point, I'm going to write my big saber book, and you'll, if you ever read it, you'll see. And here's the transition into Olympic. It's like, oh, okay, and from there on out, it's just rule sets. It's still saber.
Right. Okay, what else? Do we have anything? I think we more or less covered the major tools that he has. So, fascinating character. I love the two
Hmm.
stances, how it sort of changes your game plan, changes the advantages you have and the disadvantages. Not many characters have that. They have guard positions, but they don't have like a whole different move set
Yeah, I'm
that
liking the
changes how they
flexibility
play.
of both these two characters.
Yeah, that's the name of the game with both of them.